In our last episode, I was staying at the Metaverse Motel. The manager was a cordial young hybrid named Aquanet, and she was from a place called Monkeytown, around 2 days south by train. Aquanet said I might be able to get a teaching job down there, so I decided to do it. The USA is flushing billions into educating monkeys these days, she said. There are schools everywhere in Monkeytown, always looking for good teachers because the work is tough. So mostly the incompetent or desperate stay. But she said there are many decent, clever, and honest monkeys down there when you get to know your way around. I really liked Aquanet, so I helped her remodel her office. She liked country music, so I built this for her. I heard months later that she fell into a fatal spiritual trap, joined a mendacious cult, and was eventually violated, brutally dispatched, and sold to some local cafes for delicacy meat by her unpredictable, volatile, and libidinous father, Darwin, and a couple of his shifty buddies from a local tavern. It's a monkey thing, Aquanet used to tell me. It's just what monkeys do. But on the positive side, those cafes sold out of their evening specials every night that week, and it proves that Aquanet really was a sweet and tender young hybrid. The following day, though, I headed out on a southbound train toward Monkeytown. Our second train was a diversity of simians, and the first few cars smelled like a monkey house. But I eventually found a car filled with learned scholars from various disciplines on their way back from a conference on the nature of man up at the University of Iowa. One of their unresolved issues was what kind of an engineer created man. And I walked in as they were discussing it all. One of them suggested it was almost certainly a structural engineer. How else could man perform his almost miraculous bipedal balancing act that still eludes us? All those bones and muscles and livers, said the professor. Man's creator might certainly be a structural engineer. Well, said another, you are certainly correct about man's complex structure, but consider perhaps that his creator might be a hydraulics engineer. All those pressures and fluids and such. Is it possible? Perhaps, said another. But does not the evidence also suggest that man was created by an electrical engineer? Imagine the unfathomable nervous system that moves them. Well, it went on for a while, and one of the professors, noticing that I had been listening, asked for my opinion. I hadn't given it any thought up until that moment, so I spitballed it and said, well, he might have been a civic engineer. Who else would build a recreation facility directly next to an open sewer? They were all silent for a moment while that sunk in, and then agreed in unison. Then one of them, now under the misguided impression that I must be some sort of genius, asked me about another discovery that baffled him and his simian colleagues at the University of Iowa conference on the nature of man a few days ago. During our practical examinations of both simians and human males, he said, we noticed that your kind almost all appear to have suffered some sort of highly surgical and deliberate genital mutilation. The essential skin protecting their one-eyed Willie's delicate head has been surgically removed, leaving it forever unprotected and constantly desensitized. Well, yes, I said, and doctors insist we should do it to all newborn babies to prevent that troublesome cheesy buildup under the hood. Well, frankly, one of the primate scholars said, we monkeys consider that cheese a tasty delicacy and love the tang of it. It's somewhere between cheddar and Swiss in the young ones. Oh, I understand now, I said. Perhaps our clerics prefer a clean and shiny whistle. The afternoon sun was giving way to darkness, so my simian brothers and I decided to top it off with a song. I learned then they were Bonzoians, so they all had beautiful voices. It was a fitting end to an enlightening day on a train heading to Monkeytown.